morning, friends, and welcome to this module. In the previous module, we had looked at blogging and microblogging platforms as popular forms of digital communication. Today, in this present module, we shall discuss how digital communication and social media can offer support to individuals and communities during their times of need. Social support refers to the assistance and encouragement we receive from our social networks, such as family, friends, peers, and online communities too in today's world. Traditionally, as we know, it has been offline, meeting with a friend, for example, or spending time with family. However, digital communication has made it possible in the online mode also. It encompasses emotional, informational, extended social networks, and tangible forms of help that sustain us during challenging or stressful situations. On the digital platforms, social media serves as a valuable tool for maintaining such connections. Though social media should not be a substitute for face to face interactions, yet it has a wider reach as it transcends geographical barriers and can also be reached, understood, and acted upon by total strangers too. Several researchers have pointed out that seeking and providing social support is a crucial aspect of human communication as individuals rely on it to cope with stress and uncertainty. Here we have referred to a 1987 work of Albrecht and Edelman, who have suggested that social support serves the purpose of reducing uncertainty about a situation, our own self, the other person, or the relationship. This stands valid in the context of online social media networks, which may offer us social and individual sustenance also. It may be verbal as well as non-verbal, depending on the needs and also the preference of the provider. Nowadays, we see that more and more people are approaching online communities through social media to seek support in their times of grief. Online tools have become instrumental in connecting individuals with larger networks. As early as 2005, Easton and LaRose have suggested that online tools have become instrumental in connecting individuals with larger networks and thus enabling them to seek various forms of social support. The reason behind this shift from the offline to online groups has enabled the individuals to access more people or people who are better equipped to offer the type of support they require. It also simultaneously provides us with a means of fulfilling the emotional and psychological need for support. The feeling of being supported and connected to others has positive effects on our mental health and overall well being, and therefore, social support is a major determinant of health and well being. Numerous studies support this idea and indicate that social support is essential for maintaining not only physical but also particularly psychological health. Studies have come out which suggest that individuals who spend more time in communicating with online support group members are more likely to have a larger online support network and a higher level of support network satisfaction. Other researchers remark that core members who are most actively engaged in online group communication provided and received better and more emotional social support in comparison to the peripheral members. In the context of diseases related with mental illness, the harmful consequences of poor social support have also been well documented. Social support may moderate genetic and environmental vulnerabilities and confer resilience to stress, possibly via its effect on the HPA system, the noradrenergic system, and the central oxytocin pathways. Online available research and specific interventions to increase social support for psychiatrically ill and at risk populations is helpful in increasing awareness. Such studies can provide tangible medical benefits as well as online social support. Additionally, we find that self disclosure is pervasive on social media. Research proves that it has significant implications for psychological well being. There is a bidirectional relationship between well being and self disclosure on social media. I would refer to a research paper by Luo and Hancock, who have tried to synthesize recent researches on the motivations, mechanisms, and effects of online self disclosure on well being of the people, and also propose a framework that highlights the bidirectional relationship between self disclosure on social media and the idea of one's well being. They disclose how self disclosure fulfills particular needs of individuals with different well being characteristics. The diagram given on this slide has been taken from this research paper by Luo and Hancock, and it indicates to us the relationship which exists between the quantity and quality of self disclosure on the social media platforms and its relationship with our perceived understanding of well being. It talks about the perceived connectedness, the social support, capitalization process, as well as perceived authenticity. These mechanisms, available to us with the help of the social media, generate a sense of psychological well being in us, which helps us to avoid the distress and also provides us positive emotion, life satisfaction, and a sense of better self esteem. It leads us to interpersonal and intrapersonal motivations also. Social media has enhanced positive social perceptions regarding various issues. We can cite how it significantly boosted the visibility of Paralympic athletes and their accomplishments during the 2020 Paralympic Games, commenting and sharing about it across platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, etc. To illustrate it further, we will look at the example of Avani Lekhara, an Indian Paralympic gold medalist who unfortunately met with a life altering car accident in 2012 that left her in a wheelchair. Her journey took a historic turn at the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics, where she secured a gold medal in the women's 10-meter air rifle standing and a bronze medal in 50-meter rifle three positions, marking the first time an Indian woman clinched two Paralympic medals. Avani Lekhara's Twitter account has received numerous messages of support and admiration from people who have been inspired by her achievements. Her remarkable achievements were celebrated widely on social media and also became a beacon of inspiration to individuals with special abilities, encouraging others to pursue their aspirations. We would also refer to some other online support groups in this context. They are Superhuman, Better Off with an Ally, hashtag We the 15. Super.Human by Channel 4 covers the Paralympic Games in depth and depicts what it takes to be a Paralympian. That means the blood, sweat, and tears poured into the dedication of the athletes. Better Off with an Ally by the digital financial services company Ally throws the spotlight on all the people supporting the athlete ecosystem and portrays their contribution to the games. The global launch of the decade-long campaign We the 15 by Paralympic Games aims to support the 1.2 billion differently abled people in the world. This campaign intends to put disability on the inclusion agenda, change people's perception about it, and also create online connections to further strengthen different relational ties within the society. Although social media is important for providing access to latent ties and keeping us connected with weak ties, they also can help us communicate and interact with strong ties. And it is these strong ties, whether we know them offline or not, which can be a source of social support to us. Now, let us look at the four different types of social support. Though various models for it are available, I refer to the one proposed by Cutrona and Sur. In 1992, Cutrona and Sur had mentioned four dimensions of social support, that is, emotional, esteem, informational, and instrumental support. The visual on the right hand side of the slide also illustrates it. Emotional support refers to the expressions of interpersonal caring or emotion. The receiving of such messages creates what is known as a buffering effect. That is, there is a protective layer or a buffer zone against the negative consequences of mental health between us and the traumatic situation we are facing. Esteem support refers to messages intended to make someone feel better about themselves, including promoting the target's skills, abilities, or sense of self esteem. For example, if somehow a friend has not done very well in the examination, we can support this individual by reminding her that she has a definite potential and would definitely be successful later on. Esteem support involves the provision of positive feedback, recognition, and affirmation of an individual's abilities. Informational support refers to the provision of facts or advice. It involves providing information, advice, or guidance to help someone solve a problem, make a decision, or learn something new. Instrumental support refers to providing material assistance, often in the form of financial aid or practical assistance. For example, lending money or textbook or any other equipment to a person within our circle. All these examples illustrate certain forms of social support that can be readily communicated through digital forms of online media, particularly with the help of the emerging networks which are easily available to us. It has been suggested by Boyd and Ellison, and this research was conducted in 2007. Those were the very early days of social media. But now we find that the efficacy and validity of this research has sustained even the recent developments of the social media. They had found that the social media becomes a significant means of daily conversations, providing us the fatigue alternatives of our offline communication with people. The use of social media can reinforce existing social relations by keeping individuals informed of other people's activities. The constant stream of information allows us to stay connected with friends, family, and acquaintances, and even if they are physically distant, we have a feeling of being connected with them. Boyd and Ellison have suggested that social media use can play a positive role in enhancing interpersonal relationships. Social media can allow unique access to social ties. However, they should not be seen as a substitute for face to face interactions or deep, meaningful personal connections with individuals. Social media has opened up distinctive avenues for accessing social support and has introduced innovative ways of offering it. Personal disclosures made on social media, such as through status messages or posts, can create perceptions of intimacy among members of one's social network, and it definitely enhances relationships through ambient awareness and indirect communication. Social support can also be provided directly via social media. from strong ties. This shift means that emotional closeness no longer relies solely on physical proximity. As a consequence of globalized and mobilized societal and personal networks, strong ties can be really distant in terms of geographical distance. Strong ties are close, intimate relationships characterized by emotional bonds and frequent interactions with family and close friends. They have a significant impact on our daily life, decision making, and they also provide emotional support at various junctures in our experiences. Weak ties, on the other hand, are casual relationships with acquaintances and colleagues involving infrequent interactions and lower emotional intensity. Despite their distant nature, weak ties also offer valuable access to new information, opportunities, and diverse perspectives from outside one's immediate social circle. Social media platforms like Instagram provide individuals with the opportunity to seek support and share personal achievements with those loved ones who are living and residing in distant locations without the need to travel this distance. By utilizing features like tagging and engagement, individuals on Instagram can establish connections with their distant contacts, enabling them to receive the social support they seek and share their accomplishments from afar, etc. It is this capability of remote interaction with the help of the social media platforms that exemplifies how technology has facilitated the exchange of support and celebration across geographical distances. The shift towards relying on digital platforms emphasizes the role of social media as an alternative avenue for seeking and receiving social support. It eliminates the requirement for physical presence and allows individuals to communicate and connect with distant ties. This demonstrates the transformative impact of social media in bridging geographical gaps and facilitating meaningful interactions for social support. Since the mid 1980s, internet communities have been utilized by people to seek and provide social support, particularly with our strong ties. These early communities also facilitated close, deep, and strong personal ties among members, even if they have never met face to face, as described by Reingold in 1993. According to him, it may not be possible to have a strong bond with someone we have never met. However, the hyper-personal model available to us with the help of the social media platforms provides a rational and theoretical support for this phenomenon. In the realm of social networking sites, individuals often turn to their strong ties within their established network, particularly when they have to seek support for any personal situation, as these relationships are the most reliable and offer substantial support. The 2020 research by Kamrat et al. Emphasizes the significance of strong ties as both the primary recipients and providers of substantive support within such communities. While strong ties remain crucial for social support, the availability of a diverse network through social media expands the options for seeking the most appropriate support. In a pair of studies, researchers at the University of Oklahoma looked at how college students sought and received social support via Facebook. When students far away from home and family posted a message on Facebook seeking validation or a caring word, they posted a status message visible to their entire Facebook network, but with a specific limited audience in mind, that is, their close friends and family. Social support can also be sought and received at the same time from weak ties. In researches on job seeking behavior, it has been found that individuals often obtained employment opportunities through weak ties rather than their strong ties. Weak ties, for example, casual acquaintances or distant friends, provided access to a broader network and diverse resources, including information about new jobs, referrals, and also recommendations. This demonstrates how weak ties also play a significant role in facilitating important outcomes and providing support in specific contexts. However, at the same time, it has also been found, interestingly, within the same studies, that social support was received alike in the same manner from strong as well as weak ties. Both close friends and mere acquaintances commented on status updates with supportive messages. However, it was also noticed that comments from strong ties were perceived as slightly more supportive than comments from weak ties. Sang-hee Oh and Seo Yeon-sin, in their 2015 research article, have explored the motivations behind social media users who share their personal experiences, information, and seek social support with anonymous others. A variety of information sharing activities in social media, including creating postings, photos, and videos in 5 different types of major social media, were observed by these researchers. And they found that the array of different motivations always play a role in encouraging information sharing, but the specific motivations differ across different types of social media platforms. Motivations of learning and reciprocity are beneficial in encouraging users with less experience in social media. And at this point, it brings us to the discussion of the role of social media influencers. Social media influencers are trusted within their communities, and therefore they play a significant role in impacting social support online, spreading awareness, raising funds, etc., during our times of need. In this context, let us refer to CauseWalks, which is a fundraising platform and which helps us for peer to peer fundraising as well as crowdfunding, etc. CauseWorks offers a guide on utilizing social media influencers to drive online fundraising and crowdfunding campaigns. This slide describes about how in 2010, Leigh Durst, a recognized authority in business operations and digital transformation, coordinated a fundraiser for the Japan earthquake victims during Austin's SXSW conference, utilizing the support of social media influencers. The outcome was remarkable, with thousands of people providing financial help to the Japanese people. Some influencers dedicate their efforts to non profit causes working for the betterment of people. Following slides refer to some influencers in this context and discuss in limited details about Beth Kenter, Gail Perry, Amy Newman, and Matt Flannery. Beth Kenter runs the popular non-profit blog, whereas Gail Perry is an international fundraising consultant. Amy Newman provides suggestions for the use of smart technology as well as communication strategies, whereas Matt Flannery has lent support to low income entrepreneurs with the help of the social media. In this digital world, change is a constant phenomenon, and in this ever changing digital world, with the nature of communication, nature of helping each other has also changed. Community ties are both a product and a cause of role relationships. Let us look at a video of Amy Sampleward, who serves as the CEO of Non-Profit Technology Enterprise Network, an organization which provides training opportunities to strategically use technology to fulfill non-profit missions and address community needs.
So you are the guru for non-profit technology.
I wouldn't say guru, but I do work in it. I work in this field. I'm heavily invested.
Is that a modest thing, or you just not like the term guru? Because I don't really like guru. It sounds Polynesian.
I don't really like the term guru as a word. It's awkward to say.
Right.
But I also feel like in our field, every single tool we are using is changing every day, and the way that people interact with those tools and the needs that they have are evolving every day.
Awesome. I love that we have like all the sirens and the wind and everything going. When is the marching band coming by? Do you remember? Shooting outdoors. It seemed like a great idea when we started. So going back to like community building and everyone having a voice, what type of platform or technology are you most excited about that you're paying attention? It's on your radar right now. What new things are you really enjoying?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm really enjoying not necessarily one specific tool or one specific platform, but I'm really excited for the growth of tools or solutions that enable organizations to more seamlessly interact across channels so that they aren't just siloed in to Facebook. But if they have a really compelling piece of content or they see a conversation is starting amongst their community, they can help support and facilitate that conversation across different channels.
What are good examples of this? Like, what campaign have you seen that did this well?
One good example that has been talked about here and was very recent, which was Planned Parenthood and Susan G. Komen for the Cure. And Planned Parenthood recognized that their supporters were very upset and passionate right away, but across different channels. And so they couldn't just send out a message that said, well, if funding goes away, give us more funding over and over on all the different channels. They had to actually, make sure that there was a hashtag or try and find hashtags that were being used on Twitter and engage people there in that message. And then on Facebook, similarly, thank people that just wanted to share that they supported them, but also make sure to provide information as all those different kinds of voices are commenting and saying, this is outrageous, or I'm so glad they defunded you, or somewhere in the middle, and engage with people appropriately within that channel. And then obviously, they have advocacy website versus health service website, and make sure there's information there in as soon to real time as possible that helps people across those different channels, and of course email and mobile and everything else.
Amy has rightly pointed out that we should move across different social media platforms to maximize the chances of sharing information. This will help us in engaging people from different communities outside the regular and close social ties. Social scientists as well as biologists debate the extent to which relational, social, structural, or personal characteristics impact social behavior. Barry Wellman and Scott Wortley, in their 1990 research, had looked at certain explanations for the interpersonal provision of support, and they evaluated emotional aid, small services, large services, financial aid, and companionship. Using the quantitative and qualitative data, they had compared the supportiveness of strong and weaker relationships. Different types of community ties are likely to provide different kinds of social support, and certain types of ties may be more specialized or brought in resources. Their research addresses the question of what factors crucially affect the provision of resources, the characteristics of ties, their social context, or the characteristics of network members. In this context, let us refer to a TED Talk by Amanda Palmer, who is an author, musician, and blogger. She highlights the deep connections she had formed with her audience through genuine interaction and trust. In other words, like Amy Ward, she also emphasizes on the concept of the art of asking.
And meanwhile, I was touring locally and playing in nightclubs with my band, the Dresden Dolls. This was me on piano, a genius drummer. I wrote the songs. And eventually, we started making enough money that I could quit being a statue. And as we started touring, I really didn't want to lose this sense of direct connection with people because I loved it. So after all of our shows, we would sign autographs and hug fans and hang out and talk to people. And we made an art out of asking people to help us and join us. And I would track down local musicians and artists, and they would set up outside of our shows, and they would pass the hat, and then they would come in and join us on stage. So we had this like, rotating smorgasbord of weird, random circus guests. And then Twitter came along and made things even more magic because I could ask instantly for anything, anywhere. So I would need a piano to practice on, and an hour later, I would be at a fan's house. This is in London. People would bring home-cooked food to us all over the world backstage and feed us and eat with us. This is in Seattle. Fans who worked in museums and stores and any kind of public space would wave their hands if I would decide to do a last-minute spontaneous free gig. This is a library in Auckland. On Saturday, I tweeted for this crate and hat because I did not want to schlep them from the East Coast, and they showed up care of this dude, Chris from Newport Beach, who says hello. I once tweeted, where in Melbourne can I buy a neti pot? And a nurse from a hospital drove one right at that moment to the cafe I was in, and I bought her a smoothie, and we sat there talking about nursing and death. And I love this kind of random closeness, which is lucky because I do a lot of couch surfing. So I fought my way off my label, and for my next project with my new band, the Grand Theft Orchestra, I turned to crowdfunding. And I fell into those thousands of connections that I'd made, and I asked my crowd to catch me. And the goal was $100,000. My fans backed me at nearly 1.2 million, which was the biggest music crowdfunding project to date. And you can see how many people it is. It's about 25,000 people. And the media asked, Amanda, the music business is tanking and you encourage piracy. How do you make all these people pay for music? And the real answer is, I didn't make them. I asked them. And through the very act of asking people, I'd connected with them. And when you connect with them, people want to help you.
In the context of being able to seek help or to be willing to help others, online support can have a positive impact on health efficacy also. Online communities play a significant role in enabling us to provide social support around a variety of health and well-being challenges ranging from cancer to diabetes by sharing our personal experiences, the different types of treatments, seeking the advice of the medical professionals. Online communities have been identified to be powerful platforms where disease-specific guidance and feedback is available to us. And a rich body of research work which examines the important role played by online communities in this area exists. In the realm of mental health particularly, a recent meta-analysis indicates that online support is effective in decreasing depression and increasing self-efficacy and quality of life. Some popular online communities for individuals seeking mental health support are Together All and LifeWorks that offer peer support and resources. Another one, the Dinner Party, is a community of people who have experienced significant loss. They host dinner parties where people can connect and share their experiences, and also have an online community for those who cannot attend in person. Online communities thus provide a platform for individuals to connect, share experiences, and seek advice, and at the same time, they also enable us to offer support to other people, fostering a sense of well-being and reducing our isolation in today's fast-paced world. Through fundraising efforts, knowledge sharing, and collaborative initiatives, these communities make a real difference in improving our lives and protecting the welfare. During this week, we have discussed AI and online communication and have also explored different aspects of social media as a part of today's personal and professional digital communication. We will begin the next week with discussions on social media marketing and the role of social media in entertainment and advertising. Thank you.